Sly Stallone owns no rights to the Rocky franchise? Really? I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is what's next. Hey, what's up, everybody? Jasper Gonzo here. Another episode of What's Next, your daily dose of common sense and facts. Sylvester Stallone, yes, Sly Stallone, legendary actor, legend, and Hollywood icon of the Rocky franchises, Rambo, and of course, the Expendables. Turns out he owns very little to none of the character that he created, the legendary Rocky himself. How the hell is that possible? Let's take a look. This comes out of Bounding into Comics. Sylvester Stallone reiterates desire to get back at least a little of what's left of my rights to Rocky. This is a painful subject that eats at my soul. In the latest development of Sly Stallone's ongoing battle over the rights to Rocky, the Hollywood action star has issued a call to current franchise holder Irwin Winkler to return to him at least of what's little's left of his own respective stakes in the iconic series. Sharing a very flattering portrait of the great Rocky Creed producer Irwin Winkler from one of the country's greatest artists, piece of art depicting Winkler as a snake with a dagger coming out of his mouth to his personal Instagram account on July 18th, Stallone asserted also, after Irwin controlling Rocky for over 47 years and now Creed, I would really like to have at least a little of what's left of my rights before passing it on only to your children. I believe it would be fair gesture from this 93-year-old gentleman, declared the actor in a now deleted post. This is a painful subject that eats at my soul because I wanted to leave something of Rocky for my children. But it's always great hearing from the loyal fans. He concluded, signing off, keep punching. Despite having created the character, starred in the first 8 films of the franchise, written 7 of them, directed 4, discussed Stallone in a 19 interview with Variety, the actor currently holds no ownership whatsoever of the Rocky franchise. Quote, I mentioned it a few times before after Rocky 2 came out and made a ton of money. Then Rocky 3 hit, made even more money. I said I'd like to have some ownership since I invented it, he explained. And that never happened, so I have 0 ownership of Rocky. After recalling how his attorney at the time, Jake Bloom, shut down any of his requests for ownership under the auspices of It Just Happened, Stallone was asked by the entertainment news outlet why he didn't push the issue further, which he admitted, I think there was a certain code of business conduct, maybe not as much now, but back then, that you don't ruffle the feathers of the golden goose. Quote, the studios is the power. The agency relies upon them, and the attorneys are the go-betweens, he issued. When I finally confronted them, just before Rocky IV in '85, I said, doesn't it bother you, guys, that I've written every word? I've choreographed it. I've been loyal to you. I've promoted it, directed it, and I don't have 1% that I could leave for my children. And the quote was, you got paid, end of quote. And that was the end of the discussion. I love the system, don't get me wrong, he added. My kids and their kids, they're taken care of because of the system. But there is a dark little segues of people that have put it to you. They say the definition of Hollywood is someone who stabs you in the chest. They don't even hide it. As of writing this, neither Irwin nor any of the representatives from MGM Studios, the studio behind the Rocky films, have publicly responded to Stallone's deleted Instagram post. My thoughts. Interesting that Sylvester Stallone, the Hollywood icon who has been a staple in action films, I mean, him and Schwarzenegger dominate the scene in the 80s and the 90s, yet Stallone owns no ownership of the Rocky franchise. He owns the Rambo franchise. He owns the Expendables franchise, but he does not own 1%, not even 1 of the Rocky franchise. That's insane. The untold hundreds of millions, probably into the billions that this franchise has made, and yet your golden goose, which is Sylvester Stallone, doesn't own shit. That's fucking ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous, and it's an insult. But a lot of people will say, and I'll play devil's advocate here for a second, is that Stallone didn't press hard enough. He didn't have his attorneys push hard enough. And I understand back then, you didn't want to ruffle feathers, as he's saying. You didn't want to kill off the golden goose. But at the same time, Sly, you got to get what's yours. This is yours. No one thinks of Irwin Winkler when you think of Rocky. No one thinks of MGM Studios when they think of Rocky. They think of Sylvester Stallone when they think of Rocky. Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, peanut butter and jelly, ham and eggs. The sun's hot, water's wet. Stallone is Rocky. But at the end of the day, it's sad, but we don't know how much Sly put himself in this hole. But to be continued. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.